let me get to Dr. Abiodun Osiyemi. When we talk about maybe wrong diagnosis, I mean, a hospital has all the professionals you can think of. You have the laboratory scientists, you have the medical doctor, you have them in different shades. You have dentists, you have all of them. So how much of a challenge, to what extent, do equipment, time pressure, or inadequate staffing lead to wrong diagnosis?
Everybody, and I hope you can hear me. All right, so the issue of misdiagnosis, wrong diagnosis, and so on and so forth, vis-a-vis equipment is a major one. But let's look at a typical scenario. If somebody comes to you with a complaint, I have temperature and my body feels warm. The natural thing, or I have missed my menses and I think, no doubt, I'm pregnant. So the issue is, what are the procedures for diagnosing and reporting? If you go to many hospitals in Nigeria, for example, many hospitals have very good doctors and I can boast for them. However, if you ask, how do you diagnose malaria in many hospitals? How do you diagnose diabetes mellitus in many hospitals? You will see that we do not have what you call constant or consistent diagnosis process. In the UK or the US, for example, there is what we call an international classification diagnosis manual. So that if you say ICD, so, each person knows. Now, the equipment we use to make this very interesting and straightforward, you have the surgeon, the neurosurgeon, the general surgeon, and so somebody has an abdominal pain, a neck pain. You can use X-ray for imaging. You can use the CT scan for imaging. You can use the MRI, magnetic resonance imaging, for imaging, all to produce images to make the diagnosis. First and foremost, an X-ray machine is usually not as expensive as a CT scan machine. A CT scan machine is usually not as expensive as an MRI. Not every doctor or facility has access to this high-level equipment in making diagnosis. So first, equipment. Secondly, without the equipment, you also have methods, reagents, chemical reagents that you will use. Some are expensive, and all these are used in getting the results. Therefore, sometimes when you look at an image, you may say, oh, this is actually a liver that has or represents this, but under the MRI is sophisticated equipment. It's able to even take the sections, so that in conclusion, wrong diagnosis, because you asked me with relation to equipment and so, usually occur. And the more you have poorly funded environments, the more you are unable. And I'll just try to share this example with you. A case which I'm, by the way, I'm a legal medicine consultant. In other words, I have a degree in legal medicine and I see cases like this. So a lady came, she already was full term, meaning 9 months. She was in a clinic where she didn't have the money to do the surgery. 9 months. They sent to another hospital. The medical officer saw this lady, collected about 250,000 to perform the cesarean surgery operation to deliver the baby. The doctor then proceeded, and then he came out to tell the husband there was no baby. Now, many doctors will understand what has happened. They were dealing with a case of fibroid. Nobody at any time took records or report of ultrasound, fetal heartbeats. So when I got the case, because they said they swabbed the baby, I asked all the doctors at any time, did anybody do an imaging? They said, no, this woman is poor. The doctor who wanted to do the cesarean section, did you do any surgery? They said, ultrasound. They said, no, this woman was poor. Did you listen to the heartbeats of the baby? They also said, this woman was poor. And therefore, in the absence of any imaging or investigative method, they all missed the diagnosis, and as such, this case is being pursued. They've come to meet me, and we have to, because the doctors failed to apply equipment to investigate, and so that they did what you call a breach in a standard of care to the lady that actually caused a significant damage. Thank you very much.